Picture the average high school student in 2026. When they're given an essay assignment, they take the prompt, put it into ChatGPT, edit the results, and submit. 5 years ago, 10 students writing the same essay would produce 10 wildly different things because they're different people. But now they produce 10 essays that are all the same echo of each other because their ideas all started with AI.
Imagine all possible thoughts as a massive tree. Each thought is a pathway through this tree. When we look at AI thoughts, such as these generated stories, they tend to cluster much more, both in style and substance.
Ideas generated by AI don't explore new paths. Everything AI generates is the path that makes the most sense. There's no mistakes or exploration, no going to a bad idea or unconventional space before leading back to the solution.
Your mind will only ever explore a tiny, microscopic sliver of this tree, but that's your sliver. The pathways you choose are like a fingerprint.
A human's natural thinking is meant to wander because it's weighted by your lived experience, what hurt, what stuck, who you've loved. We have a natural sense for being able to tell our thoughts from others and let our ideas go off the beaten track to diverge and explore new pathways. And the reliance on AI to generate our ideas is taking our thinking from us.
In a world where the cost of answers is dropping to zero, the value of the question becomes everything.
We have trackers for our steps, for our sleep, and for our heart rate. But nobody is tracking this, the shape of your own thinking, whether your ideas are genuinely yours or an AI-generated echo. Divergent thinking is a human sense, the sense that even if it might be an unconventional or weird journey to get there, that you can find a good idea in the most unexpected of ways. And right now, most of us are losing it without even knowing. So introducing Spaceship, to see how you think. How does Spaceship do this? Let's walk you through our galaxy. Alright, so here's our cute little universe. You can scroll and drag through it so everything exists as a 3D space and we can see all of our little thought galaxies that existed before. We're going to try starting our own universe. What new interfaces exist? Big Bang. And now we can see the first AI generated train of thought, which is just kind of like the default. This is what all the AI would generate as like the convergent point. And so we want to see what are ways that we can ideate off of this and think divergently and not just the first direct path. And so to think divergently, we wanted to guide people to think through things that are related to them, their passions, and things that might seem unrelated but could have some kind of point that unexpectedly connects. So for me, I'm really passionate about embroidery. Now we can see our new path grow here. And here it goes like from stitch to texture to haptic feedback to wearable haptics and new interfaces, which that's pretty interesting. I didn't think of a new interface being like something that's physical and not just something that exists on a digital screen. And then from here, we can throw even more words. Like, for example, I like cats. Or I like lasagna. And those each have their own unexpected ways. This is a really funny connection. Then here as well, we can also start to branch off ideas. Like if we want to branch off from framework here, we can try replacing it with coding. Wait, no, that's a little too similar. We can try replacing it with ingredient. And then I'll branch off and start exploring ideas more and more. So the way that we explore ideas becomes a lot more messy, and maybe it's a longer journey, and maybe it's unconventional and unexpected. But because it's all of those things, kind of following the wandering path of a human thought, we really think of ideas in new ways, and we get to own the idea that we end up landing on. So now we see here we have like a lot of paths, but we can like favorite and save certain ones so they show up and all the other information becomes a little bit more hidden. So as like paths grow, it doesn't overload people. And then we can save our journey. And here it saves it as a cute little collectible card where now we can play around with it like this. We can specifically add our reflections on our train of thought. So it's not just a game where you play it and you end. You get to actually write out your thoughts. And here you can see also the divergence score of how far your idea was from the AI default. And we can save this to Galaxy, which will save it as a PNG. or beam to reality, which would send it as an email.